This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? I am your host with the most, Swank, here tonight for Season 3, Episode 22 of the K-Gun Report. We're going to talk about that big old win over the Denver Broncos. We're going to talk about all that news coming from One Bills Drive today. And you know what? I think we're going to preview our matchup against Baker, the Candlestick Maker. Why don't you guys just sit tight here and, here we go.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, oh my God. The gang's all here on a Tuesday night. I can't believe it. I'm seeing double. We got right below me the absentee third member of 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, one of my favorite Reed twins, Jerry. What's up, Jarrod?
Glad to be back. Was on vacation last week. Bills Mafia in the house. FLX Mafia in the house. Scott, I like your shirt. Sitting here in between Cuca and Seneca Lake. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Did you have a nice little break there, buddy?
I did. Darien Lake. It's quite an adventure out that way. The ride, Sully's favorite ride was the one that went up 800 feet in the air and spun around like crazy. He asked me if I was having fun. I told him I was too busy calculating where I would land. But that was his favorite ride. I went up once and that was it. Couldn't handle it anymore.
And over here on this side of things is that other Reed brother, Mr. Scooter Magooter, Scott Rott. What's up, Scotty?
Hey, what's up, Fandemonium? What's up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? You guys see I have the chops going on. We had a thing going on last year where we got the chops going on, right? Mm-hmm. This one is, I just wanted to change it up a little bit. So I brought it up because I know you guys noticed it.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't say anything. It's like, when my wife gets her haircut, but I usually notice that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Good to be back.
Look at everybody already. This is crazy.
I know, man. We got Brent Thomason, Rob Mullen, Dakota Eichler, Deborah Schaefer. We got Nicole saying go Bills. What's up, Nicole? We got last week's Fandemonium Fan of the Week, and he just gets a double title because we didn't do it this week. Had some busy, hectic weeks going on here. Mr. Josh Williams saying, hey, let's go Buffalo. Ellen Lartz. We got Daniel. What's up, Daniel?
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
We got Lonnie Cook. Keely Smith. Nice shirt indeed. Oh, yeah. We got all sorts of cool people here. As always, where else would you rather be on a Tuesday night than right here, right now at 8 p.m.? We had a busy Bills week here, man. A lot of cool stuff happened between yesterday and today. So, aside from getting your recap of that ass whooping we put on the Denver Broncos, we got some news to go over too.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all that, I know that my dude, Jarrod, is just chomping at the bit for this little new Stump the 24/7, Riddle Out the Reed Boys, Fake the Fandemonium, whatever you want to call it. You guys want to do this quiz right off the bat to get going?
Is that what we're starting with right now?
We're going to start right now with it.
Jarrod, I didn't do it all that great last week. I think I didn't have you to bounce off of.
No,
so
you didn't. No, you didn't do that great.
I tuned in at that moment you were doing that, and I was like, "What's he doing?"
No, stop, no.
I was like, "Our credibility is going." Is going to this kid.
No,
that was a hard one, though. That was a hard one.
Yeah, I wanted to mess with him a little bit. I didn't think it was going to be quite that bad. No, I'm just joking. It was all good. So you want to know what the topic is? And 24/7, play along, man. It's been a fun time these last couple weeks doing this. Last year, during the 2021 season, the campaign to the playoffs by our Buffalo Bills, did you know that 10 players caught touchdowns? 10 of them did. And what I would like you two to do is name those 10.
First of all, there's only 10?
Only 10.
All right.
During the regular season.
Okay.
Yep.
Knox.
Yes, Knox had 9 TDs.
Yep. Diggs.
There we go. Now we're going.
Davis.
Hold on.
Jarrod, jump in.
Now chill out here.
I'm letting you go, man.
Damn, we got Diggs, Knox, and Davis. Diggs,
Beasley.
10 TDs. Knox, 9. Gabe Davis, third on that list with 6. Stop trying to show off just because you think, you're trying to redeem yourself from last week. I see what you're doing here.
Just naming the starters, really. Beasley.
Let me just sit. Bees only had 1, but he is on the list.
They got at me.
McKenzie had more than he did.
McKenzie did not. He only had 1.
Oh, okay.
So you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Yep.
Did Devin Singletary get any?
Devin Singletary caught 1 TD last year, yes, but he is not the running back with the most receiving touchdowns this season. No, he's not. He only received 1 as well.
So there's another running back.
Reggie Gilliam.
Reggie Gilliam received 0 touchdowns last year.
So there's another running back out there.
Matt Breida.
Yes, 2 receiving touchdowns for Mr. Matt Breida. Now you got to get number 4, who, coincidentally enough, caught 4 TDs so that I can reveal some more.
Hold up.
Brent Thomason says Andre Reed.
There you go. Did Tommy Sweeney have any?
Tommy Sweeney, he is number 10 on this list. He had 1.
Wait, we have Doyle.
No.
Was it a lineman? Is a lineman on there?
No lineman on there. That was in the postseason.
So we're looking for number 4, right?
You are looking for, let me get going here. You need number 4. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. All you need is number 4.
Number 4. So he was decent.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You guys can make it happen.
Kumaro?
Kumaro is not on this list.
No, that was the year before he caught 1.
Nope.
Is it a wide receiver?
It is a wide receiver.
Wow, I can't believe I can't.
I said Isaiah McKenzie already. Did you count him yet?
McKenzie? Yeah, Scott. We have
you
receivers.
Did? Yes, I did count Isaiah McKenzie, little dirty face of the franchise. Of course he's on here.
The receivers we have so far, Scott, are Diggs, Davis, Beasley, McKenzie.
I hope none of you guys are watching the feed because all the 24/7
Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
There
you go.
There you go.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Nicole. Hey.
Good get.
I'll be honest with you. Even though we missed Emmanuel, I thought there would have been more. But
I thought so too. But
Doyle caught one in the postseason.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at like that, the postseason Patriots game, I mean, there's a whole lot of people that caught touchdowns in that game.
Yep.
And it just seems like because he threw so many that it'd be more than 10 guys in the regular season. But no, it's only 10 guys. I thought that was a fun one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Here's a quick yes, no. Has Josh Allen thrown for 40 touchdowns yet in his career in a single season?
No.
Will he do it this year?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think, Jerry?
I think yes, too.
Okay.
Hell yeah. We got Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports. Oh, see,
What's up, Robbie?
I'm sorry, guys. A lot of people on here must have thought that this was like all time. No, this one was just last season. We got this guy called Shane Becker here. What's up, Shane? How you doing? We got Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta. I can't wait to see him, by the way. Anybody want to tell everybody where they can meet Buffalo Spartan?
Well, as soon as Jarrod gets done with his big Renaissance mug down there, a beer, I think he can do it.
September 3rd, Reinvention Brewing, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We're going to have Mr. Mark Maddox there with the Help One Foundation. We're going to have Shout for a Cause with the super fans there, including Bill's Lady Bills, I should say.
Lady Bills, yeah.
Bill's dad, Buffalo Spartan, and much, much, much more.
Bill's Jason.
We're going to do a live show during that 3 to 9, and then we're also going to have EMD playing from 7 to 9 that night to finish off the night and get everybody rowdy. But we're going to have raffles, we're going to have giveaways, we're going to have beer, we're going to have food. A taco truck's going to be there.
Food truck, taco truck.
Yeah. Huge giveaways, ton of signed merchandise. You guys can win all sorts of crazy stuff. And did you say that they could meet Buffalo Bills great Mr. Mark Maddox, who's going to be up here for the Rager this year? What?
What?
Yeah. Endless Mountain Derelicts, man. We just got off this 5-show run over 9 days. Did a lot of miles, traveled a lot of spots, played a lot of great shows. It was pretty exhausting, but it made me realize that I want to quit my job and just do this and that for like completely full time forever. But I was realizing today that the Rager is the next show that we're playing full band. I have a solo show coming up this Saturday, but the Rager's the next one, so that's going to scratch an itch for us. We're going to get pretty rowdy. So can't wait for all that. It'll be a good time.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, man, it's going to be such a good time. Can't wait to meet you all there. And obviously, it's so much bigger than it was last year. I just can't wait to see the outcome and just have a good old time with all you guys.
Oh, hell
for
yeah.
Sure.
Check that out on the Facebook event is out there. We've been spreading it around like crazy. And if you guys can help us by sharing it and, spread the word. Anybody wants to come up or tell a friend to come up, it's going to be a great night. Yep. We got Mr. Dan DeClerc saying, "What up, boys? Nice stash, Scott." He said,
"Thanks,
LOL,
Dan."
But I'm not laughing, man. I think it's a beautiful stuff. No.
What's up, Dan?
Danny boy?
Well, I think the LOL was on accident. He loves his stash. We love Danny too, so he's awesome. Good friend of ours and a Bills fan. He's one of us crazy Bills fans, guys, for sure. One of the biggest.
Yeah. Ken O'Daniel posed this question: "What's the highest scoring offense ever?" Brother Brent tried to answer and say Rams, and Ken says,
Rams.
"I'm not sure, but I think this offense can beat it."
Yeah, especially with 17 games this year. That highest scoring offense probably won't ever be broken, obviously because it's a different season. But what can be broken is points per game. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to look for. So I think the Rams have it right now, but we'll see what happens with this crazy offense that the Bills have this year.
Our boy Daniel, he said he missed a few weeks because the whole family was sick with COVID, but we're all good now and ready to roll. Sorry to hear about that, man.
Yep,
Glad you guys are
feeling
all
better.
good. Good to have you back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. John says, "As long as the creek don't rise, Lisa and I will be there."
Oh, that's awesome.
John,
that's
I
cool.
don't know if you know about this, but there was this competition that my band was in. We ended up winning, not bragging. It was cool. It was a radio show. We had to do a music video, and we're up against these couple of like other videos, but there was a dude, like a couple of guys, I think they were called the Northern Southern Boys, but the name of the song was called If the Creek Don't Rise, and that's always been a running joke between us, like, if the creek don't rise.
Stop, Jared.
Okay,
Okay, all right, here we go.
guys, the season's right around the corner. Do
I
not
know
understand
it.
that.
I know it.
So
Well,
pumped. So pumped.
I know,
It's,
and we have a game coming up within the next couple of days. It's a Friday game, so we'll get to that after we talk about this Broncos game. But there's a lot to take away from that game, Swank.
I know it, man. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the moves that happened here these last couple of days, so we can cue everybody in on where the roster's at and what's going on. If you had not heard, Bean did a press conference today, but Cody Ford got traded to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday for a 5th-round pick. They also cut Tavon Austin, and the punt battle is over. Puntapalooza has ended. The keg is kicked. Our boy, the punt god, has won that competition.
Yep.
Basically on a bunch of holds and one 82-yard bomb. So congratulations to our boy Matt Ariza, who we butchered his name in the beginning, and he got us. That we went. I even did a little clinic on how to say it wrong. It was awesome.
But that's awesome because we all know holding was a big thing, and that's one of the things they were watching. And you know that he's going to hold the ball a lot more than I believe he's going to kick the ball this year. So
hell yeah,
as long as he's okay with that, I think we're all good.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the Bills Mafia babes, instead of using punt god, they were gonna name him, all right, Matt Reza, the holding sensation or something like that. Did you guys see that?
Josh Allen said in his presser after the game that he wanted to call him Hold God.
Yeah,
because that's what they were hoping he was going to be doing all the time.
And that's fine.
Todd Friedlove
just said Hold God.
Hold God. He might never punt. What's up, Todd?
Todd also is apparently pretty excited about that taco truck. When we talked about the food truck that's coming to the Rager, he put a nice little emoji of a taco up there. So, Todd, come have some tacos with us. Listen to some great music. Haven't seen you in a while, bud. Let's do it.
Quick shout out to Todd. We have a YMCA out there in Clifton Springs where we grew up, and he has turned that thing around, and he's doing great things down there, getting a whole new, weightlifting section open, kids activities. He's doing great things. So kudos to you, Todd.
And he runs a lot of the youth sports, so that's awesome.
Hell yeah. Our boy Todd is a good dude, and he used to partake in some of those conversations we used to have out back.
Oh yeah, and not for nothing, but old Mid Lakes High School grad, he probably still known as the kicking god at Mid Lakes High School.
Yeah, he could kick it. Yes,
kick everybody's ass. No,
kicking ass and taking names. No, he could put the ball in the back of the end zone as a high school kicker, so it was pretty awesome.
Nice. All right, so aside from that move, they had to get rid of 4 to make the cut down by next Tuesday, right? So they also placed Ike Bodiger on PUP. If any of you guys listened to Brandon Bean's press conference today, there was a little bit, he kind of divulged a little bit of stuff, man. I thought it was pretty good, pretty interesting. A lot of people were giving him a lot of junk for that Cody Ford pick and the way that all ended up. I thought he handled it great. I think it was awesome that he got anything for Cody Ford. I think if we were talking about Cody Ford last year, any of us would have been happy to get a 5th-round pick, and I am still happy to have a 5th-round pick. Scott and I were talking before this. If he's the only one you can point to where Brandon Bean has fallen off his horse a little bit in the last going on 5 years, come on,
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. The question I posed, and I want you guys to answer this, are we any worse off because he missed on one pick? Are we any worse off because Cody Ford has left the Buffalo Bills? And I will say absolutely not. What do you think?
If anything, it allowed us to view other people. Other people came in and tried that position. So if anything, it processed people out into what we have now. So, and he still got a 5th-round pick, like you said. So I think it was worth it.
Here's my take on this, guys.
Get it.
He came in. You watch his film for Oklahoma. He's actually a really good lineman coming out of college. That's why he was drafted so high. He's a big body run blocker, and he did pretty good in the pass block too. And then seeing how Cromer's been able to switch this line around, and I mean, he's making Bobby Hart look like an all-star as well. I know that's preseason. Let's start off by saying that it's preseason. Anything we say as fans, guys, it's preseason. We're just going off what we're seeing. We're getting excited about it. But the whole Ford thing, the whole Bobby Hart thing, Cromer's making this line look pretty amazing. And he's turned a Ford situation into something that we could profit a 5th-round pick out of. I honestly was struggling to see him making the roster, and now we've built for the future already, and we haven't even started this year. Guys, I'm just going to go over this real quick. Our past 5th-rounders, this year we got Khalil Shakir with the 5th round. I mean, the Bills know what to do with their fifth round picks. Tommy Doyle, who's a legit backup right tackle and could play left tackle if he had to. I know Matt Milano is on the list of one of those guys. Voshan Joseph was a guy I was a fan of, but he got hurt and all that stuff. But the Bills have done pretty good with that fifth round pick. And you can also turn that around to bump up in the fourth and the third. So maybe he was one of those casualties being said, play him because we know he's better or looks better this year so we can get something out of him. And it just makes Bean look like a genius. On the other end of that, we did keep Bobby Hart so far out of the two that I thought would have been on the cusp. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Bobby Hart now.
Yeah, I'll tell you too, man. Like Bobby Hart has been a running joke with this organization for the last at least 2 seasons, right? Here and there, back and forth. What do you got to say about this O-line coach that's coming in here and, making lemonade out of lemons? You know what I mean? Do you think we would have got a 5th rounder for Cody if he wasn't here?
Nope.
I mean, he made him look great, you know? And now you got somebody like Bobby Hart that's turning heads. People are like legitimately like wanting him for depth now when for the last 2 seasons it was like, Jesus, every time he's in there, Josh is getting killed if he has to play. You know, he went to the Titans. It was the same deal. He just couldn't stay on a team. Now, all of a sudden, you got the big old O-line whisperer, and things are looking up. So, big up to him, man.
Yeah, that's definitely uptrending through the past years. If we're going to give ups and downs, that offensive line coach is definitely up, because he's doing special things. As you saw this past weekend, that run game was unstoppable. So doesn't matter who was in there. And the pocket was uncrushable. So keep it up.
Chris Christian says Bobby Hart. No.
No.
I know, man. It's funny, like, God, I don't know. Look at, like, Zach Moss. You know, Zach Moss is another dude who are like, oh, yeah, he's probably never going to make it. And, like, he's been running really well in the preseason here.
Well, the similar story between those two is Ford. Apparently, this is his first year he's been 100% healthy. And the same goes for Zach Moss. He was actually taking over Singletary's spot in 2020 until he hurt his ankle pretty bad, lower body injury. I can't remember what it was. And he said he was injured all last year. He was fixed to the injury, but it was painful and he felt injured the whole year. Yeah. And he's on a year where he's feeling 100%. So it's crazy to see the difference when these players start playing at 100%.
I'm gonna pop up the preseason matchup graphic here that our boy Scooter Magooter made for this past week with the Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos, because we might as well just get into this. Now, we've been doing something here this last week. We did it. We're going to continue it, I think, throughout the preseason and into the season. Seems like a fun thing to do. We're going to give you our 4 up and 4 down collectively that we have decided on. And I'm going to make some sweet graphic and stuff like that. I was screwing around with stuff. It just didn't work out. God damn it. Anyway. But let's start with our 4 up, because I feel like between the 3 of us, we were like, Jesus, there could have been
Who do you pick?
25 up, you know, like, I don't know. So we settled on these 4. Scott, you want to start with one of them?
Yeah, I'll start. I'm a quarterback guy, so I'm going to start with the quarterback. Yeah. Jarrod, and not for nothing, I said last week on the show I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was telling Swank before the show started, I don't care if you're a veteran, you played in the league for 15 years. When you know you're going out to start a game and you know this offensive line has been revamped and there's 2 rookies blocking for you and they've never worked together playing against another NFL team, especially a top 5 defensive ranked team in the Indianapolis Colts, you're going to know your timing is going to be off and you're going to be a little rattled. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt last week, to the point he was 16 for 18 this week, 192 yards and a touchdown. I saw Case Keenum that understood the pocket, and even during the game, the announcer said he is actually one of my favorite analysis. Who's the lady that's on the sidelines? Of course, I can't remember her name now that I'm talking about her. But
Glab?
She did. What's that?
Not Maddie Glab. You're talking about the one during the preseason?
Yeah, she runs the analytics all the time.
Yeah,
I'll think of the name in a second. When he has pocket presence,
Freeland.
Yes, Cynthia Freeland.
There you go.
When he has time in the pocket, he's very efficient, and his numbers go up significantly. His QBR, all that stuff, and we saw that I mean, he's not going to go in there and do 16 for 18 all the time, but he finally had a line he could trust. He finally was able to play with a couple starting wide receivers and tight ends and all that stuff. And I think legit we have a Case Keenum where if he does have to come in, if God forbid something happens to Allen for like maybe a month, he can win 2 or 3 games like we asked him to, if not all 4. So I think it's very important that he had the game that he did because Barkley was breathing down his neck. And if Barkley had a good game, then I think it'd be flipped. So I'm going up with Case Keenum. That was a great game for him. Pocket presence, touch, good leading, yards after catch. He was able to provide to his wide receivers, especially Shakir. I thought it was a big time up game for him, and it's something I wanted to see this week.
Hell yeah, man! I think he had to show it. I don't know if it was quite at him. Like if he didn't show it this week, Barkley was going to take it. I really just think Barkley's like at the end of his career, he's shown his whole ceiling. Like it's going to be Buffalo or nothing, I think, for him after this trip. And it saddens me. He's a fun part of this team. We've talked about it again, show after show, week after week. There's going to be people that get cut on this team that you love. But it's for the greater good, you know what I mean? But Barkley will be here. I really don't think like he's going to get poached off the practice squad or anything like that. But yes, great point, man. I'll tell you what, the one thing I have to say about this, and I'll kick it down to Jerry here, that pass to Stephon Diggs, that is why you have Case Keenum. That thing was a dime. It was the most beautiful pass that he could have ever put on tape for this situation. And it shows, again, because he's used to throwing to Stephon Diggs.
I'll say it's almost like he's thrown to Stephon Diggs before.
Right? That shows that you can get it done if Josh Allen goes down. If you can hook up with that guy the way he threw that ball, I got no worries, man.
That was an out pattern 20 to 25 yards down the field.
Yeah.
The most difficult pass to throw in the NFL.
Yeah. That was sick.
Anything else, Jared?
No, just 16 for 18, 192 for a touchdown. Something that I noticed besides all that was when he threw that touchdown pass to, was it OJ?
Yeah.
When he was pumped?
Right. When he was pumped. Now, I know it's different when you're on a losing team compared to a winning team, but you can't tell me none of that. Looking back at the sidelines from Josh Allen and that quarterback group isn't coming from that and the excitement that this Case Keenum has to be on this Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah.
It brings something else out in these adult, some of them are young adults, but these athletes that when you have a good vibe, a good family atmosphere in an organization like this, you want to perform good for your teammates. And just seeing him celebrate after that touchdown, looking back and getting pumped, that's something that I don't know if a lot of people see, but I definitely saw it. It took note for me. And Case Keenum's going to be one hell of a guy just in case.
Yep.
Let's see. We got Deborah saying, "Gotta run. Next time, mention my name." Thanks to your buddy there. I heard it, Scott Reed. All right, Deborah. Well, thanks for popping in.
There you go. You got your name announced.
You got your name out there. So, thanks for support,
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Christian says, I remember Jeff Toole having that crazy good preseason game, like 25-27. Yeah, Jeff Toole, man. That would be a fun game. We should start every episode with, like, who's a random Bill that you almost forgot about. Like, just dig deep in a bucket, dude. Jeff Toole, man. But I'll say this. Do you guys remember a time where you were rooting for Jeff Toole to be the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills?
Yep.
Because I was definitely there. Joey Hatch, I love how all of our running backs carved up the Denver Broncos. I told everybody when the offensive line coach came back, we will run the ball effectively. I absolutely agree. And I'll go on to our next 4 up by saying we could not pick one single running back to give this to because every single one of them showed out. And I don't know if we're going to 2-3 this as far as running backs and then the guys that made this possible, so I'll leave them out of it. But every single running back showed up. And if you want to look at that first series with the ones that were in there, that is a dominant offense. That is an offense that was having fun, that just played minimalistically and looked like they could destroy. I know it was the twos. I know it was preseason. It was effortless. And Devin Singletary is going to be a monster this year. Absolute monster. But you look at Singletary, great runs. Moss, showed out. James Cook showed out. Blackshear showed out. Duke Johnson showed out. I mean, every single one of those running backs ate. And those are real dudes trying to make a real NFL team, on both sides of the ball. So, God, this is what everybody wanted. I don't know why more people weren't doing backflips on Twitter over this. This is what everybody wanted to see, was like the Bills running the ball effectively.
Yep.
So that's our number 2 on the 4 up.
Yeah, the biggest concern that we had coming into this game is finding out that McDermott was going to play the starters for most of the game. The fact that they went out there and marched down the field and were consistent and made things look easy and were professional and then got out of there, it's something else. And to see the offensive line in this backfield just rumble was it kind of sets up. You almost had a feeling what the season was going to look like with Devin Singletary in there and then Zach Moss taking the runs near the end zone. So that's like a little feel of what's going on.
That's what it was supposed to be for the last 3 years, right? I mean, we've never seen it. Or we've seen flashes of it, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, good point.
Yep. The run game's going to cause time to tick down. So that's going to be ball control.
It was about 50-50 run the pass this whole game, and we dominated every part of the game. And what I got out of this game was we were able to see glimpses of what each running back could provide. Not like they all look the same. We saw the power running of Moss. We saw the one-cut ability of Singletary and guys, we've loved him since day one. 24/7 Buff Pandemonium has said he's been a legit RB number 1 since day one.
Yeah.
But you can see that the confidence in the years that he's played and the confidence in his ability for that one-cut ability to make someone miss and head upfield is getting better to the point where he's reaching his top speed faster. And at some points he does look faster. So it's on top of his film study and hard work and confidence on Singletary is going to be legit. There's no 1A and 1B on this offense as far as running backs go. It's Singletary. But like I said, what I took from this game is you were able to see what different part of the game each one of these running backs bring. And that's, if you're going to bring out Moss, then you're going to know you're going to run the ball. And sometimes when you know what play is going to happen, as long as you run it efficiently, you should be able to run it successfully. So our old high school coach said, we'll run 5 plays. If we run it efficiently, then it will be effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, you want to go on to number 3?
Are we going with the big guys up front for number 3?
Hell yeah, we are.
The offensive line, 302 passing yards, 208 rushing yards, 9 yards per play, and 32 first downs. And it didn't matter who was up front there. The line was just consistent. If you want to look later on in the game when Duke Johnson scored those 2 touchdowns, Duke walked in both times.
Yeah, untouched.
And so if you want to see a battle to see who Bean and McDermott are going to keep for that 53-man roster, that line, the offensive line is going to be fun to watch to see who they keep. Even on that first drive when Allen stepped up and did a little twirl, dropped back and threw it to Gabe Davis, he really didn't have to do that. Which was promising was when he stepped up, the defense adjusted to him stepping up, but our offensive linemen adjusted to them stepping up. So it was just amazing to watch. Go back and watch that one play and watch the line. It was so smooth and flowy.
Yep.
And then he just dropped it on Gabe Davis, and it was beautiful. So that whole line definitely is going up on all ends.
Yeah, after that little jive that he did, he was still in the pocket, and the pocket was still there.
It was smooth as butter.
I mean, beyond that, the depth on this team is ridiculous. You got a guy who started last season, well, halfway through the season, right, in Spencer Brown, who we all thought automatically was going to be in that position. And now you got Quessenberry there holding it down because Brown's been banged up. And is anybody going to bitch if he's not in there? Yeah, we want that young guy. Yeah, we want him in there. What if he sits behind somebody who's been starting, for the last however many seasons?
Right.
After he already got a taste of starting, he'll come back whenever he has to be in, A, hungry, and B, more knowledgeable than anybody that's been in the league 2 years longer than him. You know what I mean? There's just no bad downside to the way this line's cutting out. And one of them was going to have to go. And Ford was it. That's okay. Like I said, people that are getting hot online about it, none of you liked him anyway. None of you liked him until 2 weeks ago. That was it. Like, that's the truth, right? Like, and he had a nice heartfelt goodbye to Buffalo and all that stuff, and there's no animosity or bad feeling. We all wish he would have worked out. And, he knows Kyler Murray. Maybe he'll have a great time down in Arizona. It'll all be great for him. And they can, watch the playoffs from their living room, and that's all fine. I don't care about that, at least the Super Bowl, whatever.
I know something cool that I saw also after the I think it was Moss's touchdown run. Spencer Brown still wants to get in that shit. Scuffle going on in the end zone, and he took himself away from celebrating the touchdown to go make sure things were right with his teammates and whoever they were pushing around. So he's a guy you want on the team, man. It was fun. It was funny to watch.
It's been a very, very long time since we could actually look at our offensive line and say who we want to keep, who's going to get cut. Because there's a lot of guys on our offensive line that will get cut, but will also be playing on an offense this year. You look at our starters, and like Swank's point, with Casenberry coming in at right tackle, I believe possibly that it's his to lose now.
Yeah.
As much as we love Spencer Brown, he had his ups and downs as a rookie. He showed to be someone that was very aggressive and played to the whistle. But now Casenberry comes in. That was a rookie mistake by Jarrod, by the way. Played to the whistle.
Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get.
Welcome back, Jarrod.
But you know what I mean? Right now, I'm looking at our offensive line starting with Morse, Saffold, Bates, Casenberry, and Dawkins. I'm looking at our backups as being Tommy Doyle, who's a 5th-round draft pick, as I mentioned earlier, that could play at the right tackle if he has to be. Greg Van Roten, a multiple starter for the New York Jets. Greg Mans, who's a multiple starter at guard and center for the Miami Dolphins. Jacob Capra or Bobby Hart, I think that's still up. But then your right tackle backup is Spencer Brown. If there's someone that needs to come out for a series, I think our offensive line is not going to skip a beat. And it's one of those reassuring things. It's always in the trenches, Swank. We always say it. If you have depth there, you'll be okay.
All those guys can play multiple positions too.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Versatility. The only reason you saw Cody Ford leave today, versatility. Bobby Hart can play multiple positions, whether you like him or not. He's turned into a better player this offseason, and he can play multiple positions. And that's it. That's what they're looking for. And if I would have really just bought into that when we did our original 53-man a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't be buying these two guys 4-packs, because I have lost so many people off my 53 already, and there's only been like 6 cuts. So we got Mr. Brian Van Slyke saying, "Evening, gentlemen. That was some good Bronco meat we had this weekend. Looking forward to Panther Meat Friday." Absolutely, sir. Uncle James
What's
says
up,
domination. Brian? You guys are keeping it going in the comments, and thank you so much for that. We got one more person. I'm going to be quick on this last 4 up because we got to move this along. The last person on this is Mr. Shakir. This dude has solidified exactly what he's going to be in this league. He is no question on this roster. Wide receiver 4 or 5 right now. I think he just catches everything that comes to him. He runs every route that's asked of him. It's a repeat of last week. He is phenomenal. I'll say this really quick. Honorable mentions, Ken Dorsey. I saw some Ken Dorsey chatter in there. Brother Brent was talking about him. I was doing this running post on Twitter about every drive that Ken called this last week, and 6 in a row were touchdowns. So, I don't know. We have not been quiet about the fact that we did not like Brian Dable on this show. I don't think he was very creative. I think that he was one of those dudes that's like, if it worked once, let's do it again. And then I don't know. To me, it's a different guard. It's a different leader. It's different in the fact that this dude worked with Josh Allen. Like, Dable gets the credit for molding Josh Allen. I think Dorsey is the guy that really got in with the mashed potatoes of it all, and he understands him on a different level. And I think this season what you're going to see is Josh Allen being able to be Josh Allen with a supervisor above him saying, like, okay, let's try and ring this in. You think we can do this? Let's try it out. But it's going to be super fun to watch. and very productive, I think.
Yeah, I think we said from day one, I think Allen made Dable a lot better than he actually was. And the more I think about the Dable thing, because I pay attention to other teams, and Dable's been in the league for quite some time, whether it be college or NFL. And I believe Dable may fall in the category of, if it doesn't work, you've been burned on it a couple times, you never go back to it. We're in a situation where Ken Dorsey has never done anything before except be a quarterback coach and be a quarterback in the NFL. So his slate is completely full and nothing's not worked for him yet. So the playbook may be wide open. Let's do a counter. Let's do a screen. Let's do a draw that's not predictable. Let's take a big running back and run up the middle instead of our 5'10", 195 running back and run them up the middle. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes can stay in a head coach's, an offensive coordinator's repertoire, with the fact that sometimes things don't work as often as you like it, so you just stop. Ken Dorsey's got that open playbook, and as long as things keep working for him, he's going to have a couple pages.
These 2 preseasons have been perfect for Ken Dorsey too, because the first preseason game he had to deal with turnovers on a lot of the first couple drives, so he had to adapt, and then he had to come back and make adjustments throughout the game. And then this past Broncos game, he had a flawless game plan that went smoothly and everybody executed. So as a new coordinator coming in, we couldn't have asked for 2 better preseason setups to get Ken Dorsey ready for the regular season.
Jamie brings up a good point. Dorsey was a fantastic Hurricane quarterback. He knows what it takes.
One of the best.
I don't know. Did you hear his presser today, Jarrod?
That's where I got that from, that he was happy about.
Yep, absolutely. And I thought that was so insightful. And he's like, he seems very open. He obviously knows like the boundaries of what he can say and what he can't say. But I like listening to him. You can tell when he's like genuinely like amused. You can tell when he's like being serious. You can tell that he knows what it's like to be a player that's won in this league, you know? And when
with big shoes to fill, Swank. Yes. When he became a quarterback, he had to look back on the Jim Kellys, the Bernie Kosars, I'm going to jack up his name. Fandemonium, fix me on this one. Tortellini, whatever that quarterback's name was.
Tortellini.
I think you're close.
Gino something. I can't remember his last name. But
Tortellini.
Miami Hurricanes had
Dan Marino. You mean Dan Marino. I got you.
He played for Pitt. But as a quarterback coming in the 90s to the Miami Hurricanes, there's a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of pressure to fulfill those footsteps. And so I know pressure as a quarterback is a lot different than pressure as a coach, but pressure is pressure nonetheless. And I think he'll be able to handle these duties.
Absolutely. A lot of good conversation going on in the chat here. I want to get to everything.
Gino Toretto.
Yes, Gino Toretto.
Sorry, Swank.
That's okay, man. You know, I'm used to the read interrupter. I'm going to do an interrupter bill.
Squirrel.
So let's hit our 4 downs really fast, and then we'll cruise into this next game because we're creeping on overtime, and it's going to go into overtime, folks. I'm not going to lie. My first on the 4 down list is kick coverage, special teams, tackling. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. The kick coverage was ridiculously horrible, and I understand what they were doing. There's no Taiwan Jones out there. There was no Saran Neal out there. You know, they were trying to see what these young guys had, what these news guys had. And I'll tell you what, man, they were popping off too big of returns on us during that whole game, and I was not stoked on it.
Right.
So that's definitely number 1. Scott, what do you got for number 2?
Number 2, I don't know. Swank, just real quick on number 1. Well, you mentioned special teams. I'm going to mention tackling. The importance, there's a lot of people talking about.
We'll call that 2, Scott.
Tackling, number 2.
Yep.
A lot of people saying and talking about, we shouldn't start our starters. This is the NFL now. They should wait. But I mentioned the Swank before the show started. You saw Milano and Edmonds run into each other. You know, just those simple things that you don't get when you're doing you may get a little bit when you're doing your red and blue game, but practice, you are going 100%, but you're keeping an eye out for your teammates. So they need to play these games. And sometimes you're not wrapping up or delivering the shoulder like you should in a regular game, and you're missing tackles. And I think it's important that The reps need to come. You need to start making these tackles, and that was a concern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. The big one there was Milano and the Edmonds one. That one sticks in my head because a couple seasons ago, we lost a playoff game because of that type of tackling. And that was a big concern. But hopefully when the season comes, they strap their chin straps tighter and wrap up. The one thing I want to do is an honorable mention up, as I don't know if you guys saw, Tremaine Edmonds had a pretty damn good game. He didn't get all the tackles in the world. Like we said, he missed that one.
Jerry.
I know,
I
but
know you missed a week, but you're going out of order.
there was a screen pass that you saw him actually breaking down.
Jerry.
So that's
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back to.
Go ahead and tell us about Trina.
All right.
no, but just on that quick little out screen pass that they ran, you saw Tremaine Edmonds run to the sidelines, and he actually was breaking down to make the tackle instead of running past. So I've been watching him a lot lately. He's been knocked for over pursuing. I think he's fixing it. And even on pass coverage, he's doing a fantastic job in there in the middle. So that's my honorable mention up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to do a bunch of ups, man.
Yeah, you could do a lot of ups.
And we can keep going on it. I mean, Boogie, he was okay. Shaq Lawson really was the one that, like, did exactly what we were talking, like Scott and I were talking about last week. Like, he needed to do something big this week, and he did. He made some good plays. He was in there. He was active. As far as downs go, Jerry, you wanna talk a little bit about the next down?
Well, on my list, it was hard to put anything down because there wasn't much that I saw, but the only thing I had was tackling special teams. So if you're looking for number 3, I'd like to give it to either Swank or Scott for number 3 if you have another one.
This dude, man. All right, well, I'll do number 3.
Just discuss amongst yourselves.
Get it, Swank.
Really prepared, man. Thanks so much for joining the show tonight.
Can we go back to the beginning of the show?
Oh, hey,
Can we do another up?
There's some
let's go
comments
back to the
we missed,
beginning of the
Swank.
comments. We'll start saying hi to people again. That first drive for the Bills defense with the starters. I'm gonna say that this is gonna go back to like that whole like we don't need to play our starters in the preseason. Yes, the hell we do. That was absolutely like the reason why we do that, and it goes to the tackling thing, and it goes to the special teams thing, and all that. But like getting that like sync, knowing where people are supposed to be, third down was like pretty horrendous, with our first team defense, and everything got straightened out. But that first drive should give you a good look into why we need to play players in the preseason. They need to get that rush shook off. It's a real live game environment. You're not going to get anything like that in practice. It all amps up stages, right? You go no pads, OTAs, training camp, pads, and then build up scrimmages, preseason. You need to work into that because these are going to be live dudes trying to bury you, So I'm glad that we got it all sorted out. But that first drive with the Denver Bronco 2s running down the field on the Buffalo Bills' number 1 ranked defense with the 1s, I mean, it was a little concerning to me. Again, you didn't have the safety duo out there. You didn't have Trey out there. You're still trying to figure out that cornerback situation. But you did have your whole starting front rotational defensive line. You did have your linebackers, minus Von Miller. Sorry, no Von Miller. I just would have liked to see it be a little more shut down on third down. Maybe not a 3 and out right off the bat, but like 6 and out would have been great. So.
Nope, I agree. And I'm going to go off this whole playing your players. I can't get over the amount of, everybody has their own opinion, but there's a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of live streams that are saying that we should not play our starters. We should not play our starters. And it's just we all know it's documented that Josh Allen really doesn't get loose until he's hit someone. You know what I mean? So you mean to tell me we all saw what happened when they played Pittsburgh last year, right? And that's with Josh Allen having a full half of play on the third preseason game. they looked rusty. They did not connect and all that stuff. So at some point, you need to the live action against a different team. Um, it's just the way it is. There was a time when we used to play 4 preseason games, and the starters would play the first quarter in the first game. They play 2 quarters in the second game, majority of the third game, and then they would sit. We're at a time now where they hardly get any reps.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, Jarrod even said it last year with the Pitt game. You really can't take that game for real because it's the first time the starters are out there. But there's a reason every game counts the same. Week 1 counts the same as week 17. So if you can knock the rust off just by a series or 2 series, you better do it, or else you're going to get embarrassed by a Pittsburgh Steelers fan that didn't even make the playoffs.
Yes, sir. All right, I know that's 3.5 down. We got anything else you want to say about the Downs? Scott, you got anything?
I don't think it was a down as much as he needs to perform a little better to establish his place on the roster. I know Howard scored a touchdown, but any other dynamic play out there, I'm not sure if I saw any. It was weird, and we spoke about this before the show. Quentin Morris came out and started with that starting offense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of interesting. We know Dawson Knox is dealing with a family thing, and we've discussed it 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. Condolences go out to the family, and the Bills Mafia yet again did an amazing thing, donating money and charity. And guys, and that's what we do. We can't go to Dawson Knox doorway and kind of give him a hug and all that stuff. We do what we know works best for us, and that's donating to something that hits strong to Dawson Knox's heart, and that's the Punt Foundation. But we know he wasn't there. And so the guy that replaced him was Quentin Morris, and I found that very interesting. And then on top of that, I don't think Howard proved enough other than scoring a touchdown of his worth as a number 2. I see him making the roster, but I don't think if Dawson Knox goes down, I think it's Quentin Morris that's taking over.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might keep 3. But you also got to remember your boy Reggie Gilliam just got that extension, and he can play tight end too. I really think the sensible thing is to go into this season with Dawson and OJ. But who knows, man? I mean, they do that stuff all the time. Maybe it is him and Quentin. I really think it's going to be him and OJ, though. And the other thing is they got time and money and training invested in Tommy Sweeney, and he's done some good things after all of his ailments and all that stuff too. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a really hard thing to deal with, I think. I heard a good thing on the radio today or a podcast or something, but it's like out of those dudes, if any of them go to the practice squad, who gets picked up?
OJ.
Right? I mean, to me, that's it. Maybe somebody scouting Quentin Morris and being like, oh, man, but I mean, God, he's undrafted, isn't he? Wasn't he undrafted? Have to look it up. If you guys can help us out, let us know.
Who's that, Quentin Morris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yep. So, Tommy Sweeney, late round draft pick, hasn't really done, neither of them have done anything in a game really to speak of. OJ Howard, though.
Just watch that touchdown catch. And OJ Howard is a big individual. The way, hi, sweetie. the way
Hi.
the rush came in on Keenum, and then he just dropped back and chucked it over to the right hash or the mid hash there. OJ Howard had body control, and he had inside in his giant frame blocked that cornerback out of the way. So he was able to make that catch easily. So just that one catch, that one play itself proves OJ Howard's worth and what he could possibly do inside the 10, 15-yard line every time. So you got to take that into consideration too. I mean, is he a guy you only want to show up when you're at the 15-yard line? If he catches 10 touchdowns, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go and look at snap counts from tight end twos over the last 2 or 3 seasons, right? And see how much they've used them in the past compared to who they have now. But yeah, a lot of good conversation as far as who's going to end up on this 53-man roster. But now
it'd be fun to see.
Let's transition to that Carolina Panthers game. Baker, candlestick maker. Are we gonna see any Baker Mayfield this weekend, boys?
I think you have to.
I think you're going to see both.
Oh yeah,
Him make a
definitely.
candle and play.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to have to do it all. Their rookie that they drafted this year got hurt for the season.
Yeah,
And I think that it was a case of they brought Baker in with that trade. I actually thought Sam Darnold was going to be cut and that they keep that rookie in the system. But now you're paying multi-million dollars for two bad quarterbacks on your team. I find that hilarious. But I think you're going to see both. You're going to see Baker because you have to, and Sam Darnold for the second half for sure. But I find it hilarious. And let's go. This is going to go into why I believe the Bills started their players this week. We now are going to face Carolina said that they're going to start their starters this week in week 3. And obviously our Bills have already played their starters. So what better experience than like what we saw with the Indianapolis Colts game is Benford and Kyer Elam to now have to face a starting offensive team. And I think that works to the benefit. This preseason could not have worked out this well. I don't think you could ever plan this to happen as it has. And I think it's going to be awesome for that defense now to actually play against a starting offense. I think it's going to be sweet. You'll get a lot of evaluation out of the Bernards, the Benfords, the Kyer Elams in our defensive line. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that. It's a Friday night game.
The Benford and Elam talk is something that I heard on WGR today, is they're considering Benford to be on the other side of Dane Jackson week 1. So the
Possibly.
fact that that's even, possibly. It's a possibility. So that's a good thing. Elam was our first round pick, so to have that competition for the number 2 CB, that's great.
The competition as well. I would have much rather liked it if Elam just went in training camp and made it absolutely like no question that he was going to be like the next guy up. I'm glad that there's competition there and things are going on. That was close to a down for me. Is that like Kyer Elam is not quite living up to expectations in my book. I know that like you haven't heard his name a lot. You and I actually talked about this before the show. I don't think he's doing horribly. I want to see more. I want to see him come out this Friday and pick off Baker Mayfield. Yep. I want to see or no targets his way because Baker's afraid to throw it that way, or just some kind of monster play from him to be like, look, I'm here. I'm at least number 2. And when Trey comes back, at least number 3, if not number 2. It's nice that Dane Jackson is like out there and doing what he needs to do. But like one of the things with him is like Kyer Elam is that like he's still handsy.
Yep.
We knew that coming into the league. He's getting called for it in preseason games. Now they're really cracking down on it because I swear to God they want triple-digit scoring in the NFL, and wide receivers can like dance around and have a tea party and like don't touch me and whatever. And that's fine for all the Bills receivers, but everybody else in the league, like I want our corners to be able to jack them up. I can't believe that more DB coaches do not like coach jack wide receivers at the line. This is a game of seconds. If you throw a wide receiver off of his route for a second, you're not telling me that that's going to make a difference.
Yep.
Especially with the D
Especially with a good defense line.
Exactly. Yep. So I would be coaching up all those young guys. You pop them where you can pop them as hard as you can, and that's where you do your part to disrupt, because like we've said it on this show before too. A wide receiver, if you give them enough time, they're gonna win. Right? Like
yep.
a DB just can't hang that long. A wide receiver is gonna win. If you give them 12 seconds, they're gonna get open. So I don't know. I'd like to see that physicality at the line and not when you're chasing a guy. So.
Right.
Well, that's what we saw is when he does lose the battle right off the line of scrimmage, that's where he got the face mask.
Yeah.
He reached and grabbed the face mask. So Swank, hopefully next week we're talking about this and saying he showed up, because
Mm-hmm.
I know Carolina's in the shambles that they are with a quarterback situation and McCaffrey being made out of glass, but DJ Moore is no joke. Robbie Anderson is no joke. The
Yep.
rookie from last year, Terrence Marshall, is a good second-year wide receiver. Those are three impressive wide receivers that now two rookies, potential, and Cam Lewis are now going to have to cover. It's going to be a great that's going to be what you're going to be paying attention to this Friday, is the honing in that defense and those cornerbacks. And yeah, Swank, Kyer, show us that you can defend three wide receivers that potentially could be starting wide receivers on every NFL team in this league.
Hey, we called it last week with Shaq, right? So Here we go. Let's do it.
Here we go, Kyer. If you're
Keep
watching,
going with it.
Benford, keep doing what you're doing, man. But we'll talk about you next week.
So, do you think we've seen the last of Josh Allen for this preseason?
Yeah.
Was that enough? I mean, it's enough for me.
Yep. Yep.
But we're
That
pretty much
drive
good on-
was not just passes; it was handoffs. It was a little bit. It wasn't telling us a lot. It was basic plays, and if you could fundamentally establish those basic plays and run them soundly, hey, you're hitting your wide receivers in stride. You threw that touchdown pass because you trusted Gabe Davis was there. I think they're done.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
We made it.
I had no
In
idea what time it
overtime.
was, Swank, but I saw you go like this. Like you're
There it is.
Oh,
Well, I didn't have Jared's text, so I didn't know. Last
Guys,
week,
we're
Jared
on
texted
time.
me.
At least he's subtle about it, right? He's not going.
Yeah. Hey, actually, Jerry, I want to go back to the beginning of the show, real fast. I'm just kidding. What do you think, Jerry? What are we gonna see this weekend? What do you want to see this weekend, man?
I want to see with the running back position, like we mentioned earlier, these players are fighting for most likely the last 4 or 5 running backs are looking for roster spots in different teams. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Duke Johnson's going to play a lot. Blackshear's going to play a lot. And I don't think Tywan Jones we probably won't see again because got him in the special teams there. What I want to see is just like the cornerback position to get solidified a little bit more. I don't know what they're going to do with the offensive line. That's going to be something that's going to be interesting to see. But just fundamental football, I think, is what we're going to be looking for. Like downs, scenarios, get the coaches worked down a little bit. Maybe put Ken Dorsey in a situation where he's got to make a decision. Maybe that's the focus for week 3 is just situational football. But you never know. We'll see what happens. I'm just looking to get out of this preseason healthy. And then we got that Thursday night game against the Rams that we've been waiting for the longest time. So,
Well,
Yep.
before that, we got the second annual regular season Rager from 24/7 Buff Fandemonium and Shout for a Cause and the Help One Foundation by Mr. Mark Maddox. Man, I can't wait for that night. It's going to be a great day. 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Reinvention Brewing right here in Shortsville, Manchester, New York, right off the thruway exit there. Take the 90 and just close your eyes till you get there, baby. It's going to be a good time. They're releasing their Super Fanatic Cream Ale that night. You're going to get access to, with your $5, you can walk in. You're automatically entered to win a Stefan Diggs signed jersey. And the Stefan Diggs right here, baby.
sweet.
Look at that. Look at
K.
that.
Smith.
It's not this one. I got this one from K. Smith. But you can get your own, and it's signed, and it's awesome. Tons of other raffles. Reuben Brown signed football. Marv Levy signed jersey. Tremaine Edmonds jersey. All sorts of stuff. Crazy stuff. Helmets. You can do all that.
And our 2 helmets have sweet little visors made by Bill's Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet little visors.
Yep.
Yeah. There is a ton of good stuff going on. So make sure you put it on your calendar. You carpool, you hitchhike, you catch a ride from your ex-wife and then tell her to get the hell out of town when she drops you off. You do whatever you got to do to get down to the Rager.
I'm sure someone will get you home.
You can crash here. I don't care. It's fine.
We're walking.
Yeah, we're walking the 12 miles. So a little through comment thread that I've seen pop up multiple times tonight that we haven't really addressed. How do we think that the Bills rookies are doing this year so far in this preseason, offseason? What would your grade be? What would your assessment be of the rookies from this class?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we filled the voids. We needed that spark at a running back that find the hole, go through it, and run. He looks like CJ Spiller. Guys, I know some people are going to say CJ Spiller wasn't a good running back, but the guy had a lot of potential, and he did have a 1,000-yard season for the Buffalo Bills. He runs a little high, but James Cook, when he finds that hole, he sprints through it, and he looks fast. He's a total different part of this offense that we've been missing, and all of our running backs can catch the ball out of the backfield. Khalil Shakir, offensively, we see what he's doing now. Yes, it's preseason, but I think his route running, his separation, his blocking, his able to – guys, what caught me the most in this last game was that offside penalty on the defense. And not only did Keenum know that throw the ball deep, get the most out of it because it's a free play, but Shakir as a rookie understood that. And I know it's ingrained to you in the NFL and college. Get free play, get open, but he was able to still find that sideline, catch the ball, and we scored a touchdown out of it. Okay, and Benford now potentially fighting for that second spot over our first-round draft pick, and our first-round draft pick's not doing that bad. You know what I mean? Tenuto's getting a shitload of snaps, and I think that's because they want to – the Bills do a thing called draft, develop, and re-sign. They want to see what they got in this draft pick and a big guy out of Virginia Tech, Tenuta. And I think they're doing great. I'm not going to give it an A because there's always room for improvement. So I'm giving a solid B+, and I'm very happy with this draft class.
Yeah, I mean, if we go through pick by pick really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Round 1, Kyrie Elam. I think he's doing as well as you can expect. I want Tre'Davious White level, and that's a hard ask, man, because Trey is a one-of-a-kind kind of guy. So I'd say, like, for me, like, I'm giving Kyrie, like, a B-, right? Is that fair? Like, he's getting there. He knows
Swank, that's fair.
on.
The cornerback is such a highly paid position now because it's so demanding. That's a high-profile pick. So if you're going to pick a cornerback in the first round, you're going to want to see that. You're going to want to see an automatic threat, not a development, but a threat right away.
What I would be, like, curious to see is, like, these other high-profile CBs. What do they look like right now? You know, I haven't really been keeping track, like Sauce or any of these other guys. Like, but it would be interesting to go back and see, like, how are they performing?
Yep.
And I know it's an adjustment, and I have nothing but, like, faith in the fact that, like, if it doesn't click 100% this year, we're going to still get production, and then next year it's going to be on. That year 2 fucking growth is going to be nut. Like, I'm not worried about him. I just want him to be something that maybe he's not ready to be quite yet, and that's okay.
You want to get up out of your chair, clapping out loud, saying that's why we fucking got him.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I want that to happen against Baker Mayfield this Friday.
Yep.
I want to stand up.
There he is.
Like, dude,
There he is.
I'm a lunatic, bro. Like, bros. I was screaming at my TV. Like, we were getting ready to go to this show, play this show, and I'm screaming at the TV, this Denver game, just being like, can't believe it. Fucking no, going crazy. Leading right up to a round 2 pick, James Cook. Dude, guy showed out. He has matured 100% from last week to this week and doing exactly what we want him to do. Against guys that he's supposed to be on the same plane as, right? Like, running up against these second-round pick or second teamers and stuff like that. Like, that's not a problem anymore. Put him in with the starters, do it up, run him, let him go. Yeah.
I'm excited about him. He's got that speed, that initial quick acceleration that
He broke
it's hard to
too.
find. It's hard to find that. Yeah,
He broke those arm
and he had
tackles too.
Yeah,
So
he had arm tackles that he was going through too. So that's
he wasn't even contesting them. He just ran through them.
Yeah.
It's not like he turned in to break a tackle. He knew he runs high like Spiller, like you said, kind of like that upright position. But when guys were coming in to try to get him down with arm tackle. His head didn't even turn to those guys. He shunned them off and kept running. So
straight ahead. Yeah. I did you guys see, just like a little sidebar? He finished that one big run, and Jordan Phillips came out and was smacking him in the helmet off the sideline. I love that. I love that so much. Round 3, Terrell Bernard showing out, doing exactly what we thought he was going to do. You don't hear his name a whole ton, but you hear it enough, and I think that's a good thing. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, that defense looks good. Pretty much, I don't know if you guys saw it, but a lot of 4-3 defense was being played.
Yeah. You got it.
And
Yep. No. You got it, Scott?
So Milano and Benford and Edmonds, I had to do double takes when they shifted over, and you had that 4-3 defense. I was like, holy crap, of 4-3 defenses out there. So, and sometimes even Taron Johnson was up there playing a 4-3 defense.
Yep.
So
yeah, they call that a 4-2-5.
Well, he snuck up, but they only had 4.
It's an 8-6-7-5.
Yes, but he played the 4-3 defense type.
But what I'm seeing with these players and these guys that the Bills are bringing in, Tyrell Dodson was the first sign that the Bills actually had this year, right early, and I think a lot of people forgot about him. I think he can handle that 4-3 defense, and I think here's the situation you have it. I think if you bring in a legit 4-3 defense to play against a run, you're going to see Tyrell Dodson. If you're going to see like a Milano or Edmonds come in, Tyrell's not going to replace that guy. That'll be where Terrell Bernard comes in and replaces that guy. So it's a lot of the situational football. I think Bernard is going to find himself on the 53, but if you're legit trying to stop the run, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, a running back and a fullback, you're going to see Tyrell Dodson out there instead of Bernard. But I think it's all situational, and I think we're in good hands no matter who's out there.
Yeah, I agree. Here's a scrub that we drafted round 5. We didn't have a round 4 pick. Round 5, Khalili Shakir. What a scrub this kid is, right? Khalil Shakir. Oh my God, no. This kid's gonna be playing in the NFL for at least the next 9 years. And hopefully it's with the Bills. Hopefully there's a change of guard kind of thing that happens, and he really is the guy. I love his heart. I think, Scott, you called this from the very beginning. Dude is just ready. He's a steal of the draft, in my opinion. I love everything he's doing.
In 2 games, not full games, by the way, he has 8 catches for 151 yards.
Yeah.
Yep. And I compared him to Robert Woods, and the guy's been a staple in the NFL for a long time. I think the Bills drafted him, and they brought in Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie because they didn't know what they had in this draft pick. So when Swank says, I think it's a future, you put Gabriel Davis, Diggs, and Shakir as your 3 wide receivers. I think in the next 2, 3, 4 years, I think it's going to be amazing offensive wide receiver threat. But I was at a game against the Colts. I saw the separation this guy created, dipping his shoulder, getting by the defenders, effortless. It was effortless. And the smartness I told you about, that offsides where he knew it was a free play to get open on the sideline, the guy's got it. And the sky's the limit for him, guys. And he's already performing at a high caliber level. I believe the other 31 teams in the NFL would love to have him as a number 2. Really, for sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he showed out. I love him. I love him to death. Almost got his jersey. Might do it anyway. Get it, K. Smith.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you could tell that I know he's playing against backup second stringers at first, but he played against the starting Colts secondary last week, and he was able to create separation and find the gap, find the open in the zone, and still catching these balls. And a wide receiver position is a lot different because you have to still adjust of how that defensive back is covering you, whether it's press, whether it's giving you some space, whether it's taking the outside away from you or the inside away from you. He's been able to find out how to beat that coverage, that man, that zone every time. He's open all the time. And Case Keenum's going to love him. Josh Allen's going to love him. Whoever's playing the preseason, the regular season game, he's going to be an effective weapon.
It's the small things.
Yep.
Dipping your shoulder to get open in the zone, drop the zone. Like you said, run offsides, run the pattern. Wide receivers are out there to make the catch too. And he's making the catch. And the big thing that we haven't talked about yet is yak. Every catch in this preseason, these wide receivers are getting extra yards. And as soon as they catch the ball, they turn up, turn left, turn right. They're getting up the field.
Especially him.
Yes.
It's insane, how similar this team is to last year's team and the team previous, but how completely different it is with just those couple little moves, man. Because, yeah, absolutely. Yak yards, completely different. Running yards, completely different. Like, this is a scary time to be a Bills fan, like for me, like, because it is so encouraging and so positive, and the expectations are just through the roof. And I can just see this team throttling every single team that they play. Like, whether the defense is on a level for the first couple weeks, depending on when Trey comes back or not, they're going to put up points.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely going to put up points. Round 6. This guy's a loser. Definitely a loser, dude.
Is he the holder?
P. Matt Ariza. You know, P, I think, stands for Punt God. Matt Ariza. Dude, you know what I love about Bills Mafia? I was thinking about this earlier. Everybody in Bills Mafia called this pick, right? Like, how often does that happen? Where, like, a fan base is like, we're getting this guy.
We're going to punt our 6th round, guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. Guarantee it. He's on the roster. And we do. And he's amazing.
And he's humble as hell.
Yeah, he is. He's so humble.
Yeah.
He hates his nickname, like, and people just don't give it up, and I love that. But, dude, I mean, all he had to do was hold the football for extra points and field goals and not screw up, and then boot an 82-yard bomb. Like,
yep.
I mean, which that is the big feat, right? Well, I don't know. I'd love to talk to him. Yo, if anybody knows Matt Ariza, I tried to tweet at him a couple times. Like, when he said I was messing up his name, I was like, come on the show and tell us how to say it right. You know what I mean? But we love this dude, man. And I would love to talk to him and know what was more stressful. I'm sure it's all stressful. But, like, it seems like that dude puts his foot on a ball and he don't care. He doesn't look stressed at all. He's bombing it. Like, main stage, first time NFL game, preseason, and you just boot an 82-yarder and net 62, right? Like, no big deal. But then the holding, man, that's got to be the nerve-wracking thing to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also just found out today the dude only kicked for 1 year in college. He only punted 1 year. 1 season.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Man.
I heard it on. I mean, I hope it's true. I'm trying not to spread fake news, but man, dude only kicked 1 season.
Matt Ariza, can you clear that up for us?
Can you come on the show and clear that up?
But Swank, this tells you, this is what the funny part is when you bring in a punter in the 6th round. I mean, I know the Raiders have been known for getting a kicker early, even a punter, and Leckler, they and Ray Guy, they spent a lot of draft capital on these guys. We went 6th round punter. And the biggest concern for Bills fans is, can he hold for Bass? I don't think the punting is an issue. I think it's just, let's make this guy make the roster and not messing up these holds. And he's been spot on. So yeah. Matt Ariza, if that's something you got to work on, hold that kick for Bass for us, big boot baby face Bass, and just keep kicking the shit out of the ball, man.
So I'm telling you, I've changed it slightly. It's just an addition. So now, and it's harder to get off. Like, you have to start the mantra right as the ball snapped. But Sarah and I were watching these 2 games, and the ball gets snapped, and I said, Big Boot Babyface Bass featuring the Punt God.
Okay.
So that's like, I just look up the stats really quick. He was a place kicker for the first couple of years of his career. His junior year, he punted 5 times, but his senior year was 79. So he really didn't become a punter until his senior year, and that's when he just took off.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane to me that you sleep on a talent like that.
Yep.
And it makes more sense now. Like, I think maybe not last week, 2 weeks ago, I was talking about him, and I was saying, like, how ridiculous it was that, like, you know, these college guys, all the highlight tapes, like, there's tape on this guy. There's this, like, there's got to be, like, this whisper of this punter that can just boot it. And every single highlight you see of the dude, the guys are running backwards. And now, come to find out today, I'll eat crow, man. There wasn't any tape on him.
Yeah.
Like, not till you were later in the season, dude was just, like, a thunder boot and nobody knew, which is crazy to me.
And I love that he's on our team.
Yeah, me too, dude. What a great pick.
He can kick the ball too.
Here we go, round 6, Christian Benford. I think we've said quite a bit about this young man tonight, and he provides an excellent amount of depth. I could not be happier than I am with a 6th-round pick that's competing for a starting job right now. You guys got any thoughts?
His numbers don't lie for Villanova. I mean, they played smaller schools, but you're still defending wide receivers. You're still getting the pass defenses, and you're still the focus. So his numbers don't lie, and I give credit to the scouting ability of Bean's crew. They have scouts everywhere, and it's one of those they didn't miss. I know it's a little early saying that, but he played against Pittman. He held his own. He's a 6'1", 205 confident cornerback that is good. When Trey White can start practicing, he will learn the Trey White ways. And if he continues to go against the likes of Davis and Diggs and those guys, Steele, and he's one of those guys. Somebody said he's a Christian Wade type story. No, he's not. No, he's not. This guy has a legitimate potential to start in the NFL and be a significant difference maker for the Buffalo Bills.
That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous comparison to me. I don't think Christian Wade ever had a shot at making this 53-man ever.
Well, I think it's because it was a late pick, and he's an exciting story.
I get
so
it,
everybody's like correlating that together. But it's like, well, Christian Wade never played a down of football before now.
See, but I don't think Benford is that guy this year. I think it's Blackshear.
Yep, so do I.
Right?
Yep.
Like Blackshear is like that long dark horse, like whatever, everybody's rooting for him. He's the Duke Williams. He's like whatever, man, that practice squad guy or whatever. Not even going to be practice squad guy. Christian Wade, yeah, absolutely. But I think Benford's absolutely on this team. I think he's on this team above a Cam Lewis. And I like Cam Lewis. We've been talking about that too. McLeod also, just as a sidebar, how about him getting cleated in the face or whatever the hell happened to him, getting 6 stitches and then standing by coach with his helmet on saying, I'm ready to go back in, put me back in this game. Like, I do love that man. You've been saying it for a while, both of you guys. And
he's been shining in camp.
I want that dude on the practice squad. I want that dude in the depths of the depth, But interesting, very interesting. Luke Tenuta. I will say this, man. I heard what you were saying earlier. Dude is not ready. He's not anywhere near ready. Too many penalties. Heard his name called too many times during these last 2 games. I just I don't see any way of him making this roster or being on the practice squad.
It was something they tried. 100% of the snaps last week, they wanted to find something out of this guy. I agree with you, Swank. He might be a casualty.
Yeah, and that the depth of the offensive line plays a huge factor in that too. So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's not for lack of trying. The Bills tried. They, like I said, all those snaps, they wanted to find something out of him. He's a big guy. He'll find a job somewhere, but not for Bills.
Sure. And then Spectre. Spectre is all over the field, making plays against third stringers like a sumbitch, and I really like him. I don't know.
It's hard.
He might be one of those practice squad guys that you just keep there.
It, though? Is he worth a pick for that? Like, I mean, is there enough? Is he high enough on the depth chart of linebackers, and has he showed enough? Like, to me, it's like pure puppy dog energy, right? Like he's running around, he's batting. Like, I love it. I love the effort. I think that he's moldable. I just don't see a way he even makes the practice squad either. And I wish he would. I wish there was a way. Maybe there is. Do you think there is or no?
If he does, it'd be the perfect, thing for him, because it's another one of those things is draft, develop and sign. If he's somebody that the Bills have huge promise for and they put on that practice squad and they're able to hold him, maybe the next 2 or 3 years is where you're going to see him coming through. But that's one of those things you never know until we get there.
It's one of the Bills signed, like I said, Tyrell Dodson early in the year. So I think they had a lot of plans for him. and then they go ahead and draft a guy like Terrell Bernard. So it's going to be one of those things. Giles Harris is also making a name for himself. You guys saw the hit he put on that tight end. He was coming across the middle, about to score. So for right now, Von Miller, Matt Milano, Edmonds, Dodson, Bernard. It's going to be hard for Spector to make it because Tyler Matakevich is going to be the special teamer. So it's going to be hard for him to do it. I think it's going to be between him, Spector, and Giles Harris for that 6th linebacker spot. So that's what makes this Carolina game. It'd be interesting to see who they start for that game.
What about Smith, right? The guy that's going to be suspended?
He's going to be suspended. Not sure where they're going to have him, though.
Yeah, you think they cut him?
They might.
Oh, that's the thing about the suspension is it doesn't count on the roster, right?
No.
So you can hang on to him for 6 games and see what develops with the linebackers.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think it's either 4 or 6 game suspension.
But you can hold him to see how everything else develops for the next month, 2 months. So he's been around for a long time on that Bills squad. Yeah. So we'll see what they eventually do. He's a great special teamers as well. So.
But Jared, like I said, for this game, Carolina game, you're going to watch the corners. I think another defensive spot to watch will be the Giles Harris Spector combination. You're going to see them both swapping back and forth to see who's going to get that final spot because someone needs to fill that spot until Smith comes back if he indeed makes the roster.
Well, it'll be sweet to see, if Spector can show out a little bit. I mean, he's definitely got enough gumption and ambition and energy to try and get the job done, but it'd be fun to see.
AJ Klein-esque. He kind of reminds me of him. Yep.
All right, boys. 9:26. We were just getting out of. Here we go, folks. We're in overtime. So let's get a couple final thoughts. We'll say goodnight to our fandemonium. We'll have our little meeting after this, and it'll be a great Tuesday. Great way to end a Tuesday.
Swank, I hate to add time to this, but is there a Bills Basics that we got to throw out there?
Oh, Jesus, dude. I did that last week, too.
No, this is a quick one, though. That's kind of a quick one.
It's a quick one. It's a quick one.
Son of a bitch. You got to remind a dude about this.
We love our segments now because it's something that we love to offer to the fans. And Bills Basics, guys, it's basically, by no means necessary do we judge you based on what you know about our Buffalo Bills, but there are a few things that you should know. We started off week 1 with Ralph Wilson. Wilson was the original owner.
Ralph Wilson.
Wilson.
Week 2, the Bills' original colors, silver and gray, moved to red, white, and blue. And then the third
Silver and blue, bro.
What did I say? Silver and gray?
Silver and gray.
Yeah, this
silver and gray.
Minky Boodle's starting to take over.
I gotta get one of them. They look good. It's good. You've been drinking for a while.
So, Jared, tell us the Bills Basics. What is it for this week?
For this week, we're gonna go into Buffalo Bills retired jerseys and jerseys that aren't retired, but you have to ask permission to use.
Okay.
So the retired ones that will never be used again are Thurman Thomas, number 34, Jim Kelly, number 12, Bruce Smith, Swank's favorite player of all time, number 78. Now, there's 3 other players out there that players, if they want to use their jerseys, have to have permission. We're going to start with number 83, Andre Reed. Lee Evans asked Andre Reed for permission. He allowed him to wear it. So that's why that's been used with Lee Evans. But Andre Reed, number 83. Number 44. You guys know who number 44 is? Albert DeBenion. Yep. That's a jersey that hasn't been.
Is this a Bills thing that they have to ask permission, or is this an Andre Reed thing that they have to ask permission?
The next 3 that I mentioned are permission asked only jerseys, I think.
Yeah, but do they have to ask the player, or do they have to ask the team?
I think the team.
Is the team the ones that specify?
Yeah, probably.
Or is it
most likely the team.
Oh, okay.
I would say team.
Okay.
Probably team and player. But when I looked it up, it said 83, Lee Evans, permission granted by Andre Reed. So however you want to take that.
Sure.
But number 44 and number 66 is Billy Shaw. You don't see anymore or much anymore because it has to be granted by the team. So retired, officially never be used again, 34, 12, and 78.
There you go.
There you go.
Are there any other numbers that you think should be retired exclusively.
I think if 83 is someone you have to ask permission to, I think Andre Reed should automatically be on there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to choose anybody, it should be one of those guys that need permission. Andre Reed first. Retire it.
Yeah, I think, 66 needs to be retired too. Billy Shaw. I think he's one of the only NFL players in the Hall of Fame that never played for the NFL. He was an AFL player. So if that's in the discussion, number 66 needs to be retired.
Okay.
And we've seen number 44 with Derek Holmes. But that's like exclusive. You have to have special permission for it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There you go.
That's
Need
it.
to know. If you want a nugget to know, just those 3, 12, 34, and 78. Those are the ones that are retired officially.
There you go. Awesome.
You will win Bill's Jeopardy night at your home if you know those 3 numbers.
17 in 10 years.
All right, that was Back to Buffalo Basics, brought to you by 24/7 Buff Pandemonium on this beautiful Tuesday night. And now to end this night, officially, now there's no other segments, I don't think. And I'm not going to forget about Back to Buffalo Basics next week, I promise. Final thoughts. I'm going to throw it down to you, Jerry. We're really glad that you came back. Glad you had a good vacation. It feels complete now that you're here. And please hit us with your final thoughts.
La, 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 la. No, I'll say it every week. 67 Kenton Hall, 89 Steve Tasker. That 49 voting committee in the Hall of Fame, need to get those guys in there. I just saw a poll the last 2 days that top 20 people that aren't in the Hall of Fame yet, and Steve Tasker was number 20. Kenton Hall wasn't even mentioned in it. People got to realize, if you look up Hall of Famers, lineman Hall of Famers that haven't won Super Bowls, there's a lot of them. Kenton Hall went to 4. Blocked for Thurman Thomas, 8-time 1,000-yard rusher. Blocked for Jim Kelly, 8-time 3,000 passing quarterback. So those 2 guys need to be in there. I also want to do a quick shout out. We've been doing this for 3 years. We've had some special guests on here, and this Buff Pandemonium, the Kagan Report has been building those last couple of years, and I couldn't be more proud of it to be here with you guys, Swank, Scott, the Pandemonium during the show. But a special shout out to the past guests that we've had. We have Andre Reed. He's been on with the AR83 Foundation. That's his foundation that you guys can go and donate to. It's a wonderful cause for kids. Butch Roll, our first guest ever. Butch Roll Foundation, check that out. The Help One Foundation with Mark Maddox, check that out. John Fina's been on. Ryan Thomas from Thomas Takes, now on Buffalo Fan Base. Check that out. Chef Josh Cook for hooking us up with the Hyatt for our first Rager. I want to give him a shout out. B Van Slyke, Brian, Epic B from Breaking Tables, always plugging us, always giving us good kudos. I want to shout out to him and TSC Buffalo. Give them a shout out for letting us be affiliated with them. It's great news for 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. Look for another thing coming out tomorrow, but TSC Buffalo. And I'm just proud of you guys, proud of the Pandemonium. We wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't everybody coming together and having fun and doing what we do. Go Bills.
Damn, Jay.
Damn.
Nicely done.
He practiced that one.
He did.
I had to read a little bit of it.
I should go next since you mentioned TSC.
Oh, I was going to mention it, but go ahead. Yeah, you go next.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Shoot.
What are you doing?
Paper, rock, scissors, man.
Well, I can only see the top of your
Careful.
head,
So guys, we kept a secret from you last week. It's revealed now with our post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're an affiliate of the Total Sports TSE Buffalo. We're helping them out. They're helping us out. It's a great relationship that we've started here, which means a lot for you guys, which is one of the main reasons we've done it, is because we want to give back. We're going to be posting events. We're going to be posting flash sales. We're going to be posting giveaways, and we will tell you about those giveaways on a later date once we figure out exactly how we're going to do it. But no matter what it looks like, those of you that are listening to this show every Tuesday will be potentially winning every week some merchandise from TSE straight from the source, which is going to be awesome. It's an awesome relationship that we're starting. Can't thank Dave Myers enough at Built in Buffalo and TSE for having the conversation. It's a transparent conversation we've been having, and we've got a great relationship going, and hopefully it takes off. And we thank you guys. We thank you guys because people wouldn't recognize us without the participation that we get from the fans. And it's awesome. And we keep growing because we are ourselves and we absolutely love what we're doing. We can't wait to grow. Swank, you're up. Go Bills.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just play cleanup here a little bit because as great as that was, Jerry forgot a couple people.
Yeah, I forgot. At least one. I know.
At least one? Oh, geez. Wow. Hey, listen, Spartan, who loves you more than anybody, my brother? That's what it is. Now, we would be remiss if we did not speak about the amazing super fans that have been on this show. And not to pick favorites or anything, but Buffalo Spartan is the dude that got us into that world and has taken us into his universe, and it's been amazing. And the people that we've met through him, Lady Bill's Jason, everybody.
Bill's dad, Bill's kid,
Mandalorian,
Bill's kid,
all of them, everybody, Myers, all of you guys, man. We have so much fun, and still to date, the most listened to podcast that we have out there of this version of the show is always a super fan. And I find that completely fascinating, especially after like the 4 distinguished gentlemen that you listed that were ex-Buffalo Bills players. This is an amazing community to be a part of. And it's so great to just share, successes and failures and life with you guys. So thank you very much. And this TSE relationship is amazing. I will say that like none of it would have been possible without like the hard work of all 3 of us combined with the gracious like ears and eyes of you guys out there. And big shout out to our boy Ryan Hickman for hooking us up with multiple interviews with tons of giveaway stuff. We love him to death, and it is what it is, man. Like we wouldn't be here without all of you guys. So thank you for giving us somebody to talk to.
Right,
because those first couple of weeks it wasn't.
It's true.
Nobody was there.
No, you spit truth, man. That's the way it is.
Absolutely. So we love you guys. Please don't forget about the Rager, September 3rd. Spread it around. We're going to have a lot of cool giveaways coming up here with this TSE deal. Part of that's going to be spreading the love and retweets and shares and likes and comments and all that stuff that you guys are already used to. So go easy on the new people that get involved, but definitely win the shit because we love you first. And, God, I can't wait for the Rager. I just can't wait. I really can't wait.
To start off the season, man.
I know. This might get used against me in like a work hearing or something, but I'm on call and I don't care that night. I really don't care. So anyway, you guys can join us any Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 24/7 Buff Pandemonium's The K-Gun Report. You can join us right here on Facebook or right here on YouTube or right here on Twitch or right here on Twitter. You can also catch the audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, or anywhere else that you find your audio podcast needs. I love these 2 boys with everything I got. This has been so much fun. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Love you guys. Go Bills.
Season's right around the corner.
Go.
This is a dangerous group.